Well folks, it's new car parts day today and I've got a box that came in the mail recently because I decided it was time to give the car a slight improvement and get myself a new air filter. Now I know what you're thinking, that's not exactly glamorous. You're going to make an entire YouTube video about an air filter. And yes, I am, but there's a good reason for it. You see, this is a Unifilter, Australian made product, really good quality. But here's why I bought this product. See, typically people like you and I, well I assume you're like me, in that you're kind of shoestring budget racer, wannabe racing car driver kind of guy. So you go and buy yourself an air filter that works. A cheap $20, $30 one, typically made in China, no name brand from eBay or somewhere like that. Which is great, except that it isn't, because they don't filter well and they don't flow well. Which means yes, they work, and you'll never notice that they're not working great because they kind of just do their job anyway. Except over long term, you're costing yourself power, performance, efficiency, and potentially the longevity of your engine because it's slowly eating up all of the little bits of dirt that are getting through that filter. The Unifilter, on the other hand, these guys have been proven and tested by multiple sources, motoring magazines, off-road magazines that do a lot of dusty and dirty driving, online articles and things where they've compared this filter with various other brands of filter, and very, very often I'm finding the Unifilter is on the top as one of the best in both filtration and also airflow, so you're getting the best of both worlds. What's the downside from all of that? Well, the cost basically. This is about 3 or 4 times the cost of a cheap generic brand pod filter. This one cost me about $100 delivered to my door. I bought it direct from Unifilter. This is not sponsored or anything, literally just bought it myself and wanted to tell you and so I guess sort of share with you the options that are out there and I guess what the right way to do something is, because too often we get hung up on the cost and we forget about what really matters and what the impact is to our car. So it's a, I guess you could, oiled foam type filter. It's kind of a cylindrical shape, not necessarily cone or pod, but it's a pod filter style. They come in umpteen sizes, various outlet sizes, various diameters and lengths. I bought one that is kind of typical pod filter size, pretty much matches the one I've got now and should fit in the space that I currently use for my air intake perfectly fine. Along with the filter itself, which we'll get back to in a moment, it also comes with, here we go, there's a box of bits. It comes with a couple of stickers, so there's one that kind of, if you were to take your car to a mechanic, you'd put this near your airbox, I suppose, to tell them, hey, don't replace my filter. A brandy sticker, and also some rather useful written documentation on how to maintain and clean your filter. All good stuff. So let's get this thing installed on the car and I'll show you that process. It's not exactly hard or glamorous, but I think it's valuable to have a look. In case you're wondering, there's my invoice. Genuinely bought this thing myself, Unifilter, in Somersby, New South Wales. I'm pretty sure that's where they make these, I assume. It actually cost me $95 plus $10 delivery. So, yeah. Let's get installed. Okay, so we're working in this headlight area basically. The pod filter lives under this headlight cover. It's a false headlight if you haven't seen this car before. But let's pop the bonnet open. There's 2 tools I need to do this work. A 10mm socket, which I'm going to put on the end of my little rattle gun to get this done quicker, and the headlight comes out. And here is my current pod filter. So this is a generic eBay sort of sourced pod filter. It's pretty dirty. I've had it for a long time. I've cleaned it a couple of times and honestly it does clean up okay, but it definitely doesn't look great at the moment. Like there's a bit of chunk of something in there, look at that. Bit of poopy. But honestly, it's cheap, and why would you spend, I mean the engine who knows, that there's what, $5, $6, $7 or more $1,000 worth of time and parts, probably more. And then I cheap out on an air filter, and I continue to use a shitty $30 one. It just doesn't make sense. So hence why we're here. The easiest way to get this filter off, because the hose clamp thing is in under here, is to take it off from this end and then slide the whole thing out, replace filter and slide the whole intake back in. So we shall do that now. One of the downsides of owning a Mazda MX-5 and being over 6 foot tall is, how do you fit both me and the car in the same frame? The car's so bloody small, and what do I do with the camera? If I put it down low, I don't know, you just be seeing my legs. If I put it up high, you won't see the car. Anyway, I think you get the point. But the point of this video is, I guess, when you're starting to buy parts for a car and you're not a cheap, poor uni student like we all once were, there's time when you need to think about buying products that are quality and not just cheap. Don't just get the cheapest, nastiest thing that'll do the job, because it may not do the job well. Do your research. Find the parts that actually have some credibility, have been independently tested, have been proven by others. And this air filter is just one example of that. I bought this air filter because it had that credibility. It had those independent tests. And this thing was past its due date. And don't forget, I bought local, which is so important at the moment. The world is a wacky place right now. Supporting local business, I just feel like that's a really good thing to do. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you see what I was trying to do here. It wasn't just the thing about, hey, let's install an air filter, because obviously that was like 5 minutes work. It's really not that hard, particularly on this car. Every car is different. Some filters are easier to get through than others. But the point is, think about the parts you're buying. Take other people's advice. Do your own research. Look for independent studies. And don't just buy the cheap shit. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.